What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the TV Toycast YouTube channel. Today we are unboxing from Marvel Legends, 80 years of Marvel Legends X-Men, the Juggernaut, and Colossus. Really excited to get these in the collection. A classic version of Colossus and Juggernaut. A Build-A-Figure that's a little harder to come by these days, so very cool to get both of these. Of course, an awesome 2-pack from Hasbro there. I haven't done any Marvel Legends, I don't think, which is wild, because I have a pretty massive Marvel Legends collection. In fact, I got pretty deep into those and was collecting them in 3 separate collections, because I kind of initially told myself I'm only buying X-Men. That's it. But then how do you say no to, like, you know, Kraven the Hunter and, you know, the Hobgoblin and some of these characters? So I was like, okay, only X-Men and only Spider-Man. But then, like some of these other characters, okay, only X-Men, Spider-Man, or Marvel Universe, which that collects everybody. But hey, what are you gonna do? That's how collecting goes sometimes. But this is an awesome set. Like I said, I was very happy to be able to get this. I picked this up on Big Bad Toy Store. May still be available, as a matter of fact. If it is, I'll put a little picture up there. But like I said, 2 awesome figures and two of my favorites. In fact, my very first X-Men figures I ever bought. I've told this story before, probably, maybe not on here though. A kid at school brought the X-Men figures, and I was blown away. I didn't know what they were, but they looked like wrestlers to me. But I mean, you see the big boots. This looks kind of like wrestling gear. Like you can kind of see that. But he had Wolverine, and it was the Wolverine with the blue and in blue and yellow and black, and he had the retractable claws. And I'm like, oh, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Had to get it. And I remember I went to Walmart that day, talked my parents into taking me. I had a little bit of money, and I picked up a 2-pack of Wolverine and Sabretooth. And I had enough money for one more figure. Didn't know who to get. Well, guess who I picked up? I picked up the Juggernaut. And what an awesome figure he was. He actually rolled, and his hands kind of moved back and forth. They all kind of had the Hasbro-style moves back then. But unbelievable figures. Loved that line so much. Became a huge fan of X-Men. Loved watching the cartoon. And, you know, I didn't really do any comic books back then. But still fun. You know, still fun for sure. And Hasbro's been doing an amazing job with the Marvel Legends. I've mentioned in other videos, I was actually really big into the Toybiz Marvel Legends back in the day. In fact, I had the Colossus from that line. And that line was a very interesting turning point for me in my collecting days, because up to that point, I only collected wrestling. That was it. I didn't deviate whatsoever. And I was at a Toys R Us, and I was a little disappointed in some of the wrestling offerings at that point, to be totally honest with you. And I found Marvel Legends from Toybiz. This is probably '02. I was blown away by what I saw, which it was Wave 2, which had Namor the Submariner, Human Torch, The Thing, and Doctor Doom. And a mistake I often make in my collecting, and I'm sure you guys do too, sound off in the comments below. I'll see something, I want to get it, but I don't buy it just yet, and I think about it, then I'm like, okay, I want to get that. And so that's kind of what happened. And so I ended up picking it up, of course. Maybe a week or 2 later, I go back to pick them up, and all of them are gone except Namor the Submariner. So I picked him up, but then immediately got on eBay and ordered all of Series 1. I think I got the whole wave for like $40, which was a pretty good deal, honestly. And then just started piecing the rest of them together. And at that point, I was a Marvel Legends Toybiz collector, and I had quite a few of them. Loved those figures, too. And then eventually it became too much, and I couldn't keep up, and kind of dove out of that as well. But I loved them. I loved that line. They were so much fun. And then I got into another career and really couldn't collect there for a number of years. But fast forward to 2014, 2015, and I started dabbling in the Marvel Legends Hasbro figures at this point, and then dove out of those again, financial issues. But then a few years later, got back into them, and I've loved them. They're great, and I feel like Hasbro does a really good job of making sure you can always find what you're looking for. Check out that artwork. Oh man, that is absolutely phenomenal. I love the comic book on the back. Who shall stop the Juggernaut? I love classic comic book art. Just so cool. A little bit of information here we can read. Colossus, a mutant with the ability to transform his body into metal. Peter Rasputin left his farm community to join the X-Men and fight for good. Well, there you go. Kane Marco possesses superhuman strength, and the extreme durability allows him to rampage through any situation as an unstoppable juggernaut of force. I wish we could all be so lucky. Now we'll open this up. Like I said, This was a pre-order I put in at Big Bad, and oftentimes with Marvel Legends and some of these companies, I don't ever really do pre-orders because they're usually not hard to come by. But I thought this one would be one I needed to pre-order because I wanted to make sure I could get it, and I'm glad I did. Had it in my pile of loot for a little bit, and big hefty box out of the way. I love it. I like how this Juggernaut's got multiple heads with battle damaged helmets and a battle damaged face. That's pretty cool. Oh my gosh, so many twist ties. So many twist ties. Let's see if we can cut these stupid things off. Again, trying not to cut off the fingers. It's going to happen at some point. It's going to happen. I don't want to jinx myself, but, I mean, it's likely to happen. We'll say that. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Gonna get him out of here. Maybe. Oh. Well, his head fell off. That's never a good sign. Looks like his head's actually connected in there. Makes sense, though, because big old beefy helmet. I always thought that helmet was cool. It was totally different. And, like I said, Juggernaut was always a favorite of mine. And he's a massive figure, too. Which, you know, the Toybiz one was cool back in the day, but I think to really sell this, you need that massiveness that was the Juggernaut. And, I don't know, very, very cool stuff. Trying to get Colossus out of here. My gosh, these things are giving me all kinds of trouble. All right, we got the other Juggernaut head and the other big old beefy hand. Maybe. Maybe. My gosh. Alright, a couple more Colossus hands and we will be good to go. There we go. An unboxing or an unraveling? My gosh. Yep, this is a big figure. This might be the biggest one I've unboxed on the channel so far. Definitely not a traditional size. I do know Hasbro used to do that with their Build-A-Figures, which I don't think they really do those anymore. Like on occasion you'll see them, but that was like every wave back in the day. And I think it was their way of like trying to sell an entire wave, and it worked. I remember there was a Marvel Legends Spider-Man Kingpin wave that I picked all those figures up, and most of them I wanted. A couple of them I was like, I could have passed on, but most of them I wanted. But it was the Kingpin, and such a cool figure. You're like, oh, I got to get that. The problem is, a few months later they released Kingpin by himself, and so people are kind of like, well, dang, I would have just done that if I had known. But that's the whole point, right? They want to sell the Build-A-Figure waves. Man, those guys look really cool together. I'm going to show this off. I don't think I'm going to necessarily use this, but if you want to put this head on, well, does it fit in there? Kinda. You can kind of see that. Black eye, torn up helmet. Yeah, very, very cool. Lots of cool accessories here. I'm going to keep the two fists because that's, to me, is Juggernaut. He's running and he's mowing people down. Lots of cool accessories there. But these guys are awesome. These are classic X-Men too. And to me, like, that's been my jam with this line. And sound off in the comments down below what you're into. But to me, the cool thing about the Marvel Legends is getting something that resembles Toybiz, what I grew up with. And that's a perfect Colossus. They've had another Colossus before, and I'll put its picture up right here, but it's not like the Colossus I remember, so it didn't hit as hard for me. This is the classic look, and that's kind of been my forte. And I think with Marvel Legends or Star Wars or any of these lines, you have to kind of collect with the route you want to go. Like, I know with the wrestling lines, a lot of people are like, I collect this very specific era and I don't deviate because there's so much out there, I won't be able to get it all. And I'm kind of the same with Marvel. I stuck with comic book iterations. I steer away from the movie adaptations because I want to simply do the comic style. And I'm sure there are times I may deviate here and there, but for the most part, this is my jam. This is what I go with. And honestly, like, who can downplay these? These figures are phenomenal. I could see if you had a Juggernaut Build-A-Figure, this might, upset you a little bit that you could buy it as just a singular figure. But at the same time, look how big this guy is. Like, this is a massive, massive figure. Oh, Colossus taking a tumble. Stand up there, buddy. This would be hard to sell on its own just because of the pure size of it. This thing is very tall, very thick. And they also have a blob figure they released that I would like to get as well. And it was available on Big Bad, but it was very expensive. So maybe down the road. And I believe that was also a Build-A-Figure at one point. But like even like look at those boots. Like I mean, just a big figure. Very, very cool. And like I said, one of my original Toybiz figures, so I had to get it. And you know, Colossus is a big boy too. Well, maybe if he'll stand up. Even off balance, he stands up because he's so massive. There we go. But you know, this is a big figure too. But still, pales in comparison to, you know, for someone like Colossus. And we can kind of give you a little visual. I mean, that's a Mattel Elite. You can see a huge size difference there. But again, like I said, he kind of is much smaller than your Juggernaut figure. So definitely a massive one. And you know, I think X-Men too is going to see a bit of a resurgence as we head into 2025. As we know, a lot of the characters from the original X-Men film are announced for the upcoming Avengers Doomsday. So now with the X-Men characters as part of the MCU, man, things are really going to take off. And I think Marvel's going to hit another stride, because I think we can all agree they downsloped quite a bit after after Avengers Endgame. It felt like, okay, we got hit the peak and now we had to come down. But now I think we're on the course to head back upward, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited for those films. But these are cool figures. They're definitely fun additions to the collection, and I'm going to work on getting more Marvel Legends. I do have one more to unbox, but it'll probably be a little bit from this one. So more Marvel Legends will be coming, which I'm always excited about. But make sure, guys, if you guys enjoy this, check out my other unboxings. Super 7 Thundercats like Monkey-N and Lion-O. How about Mattel Elite? I just showed off the Headbangers. I think I showed off Thrasher there. Check those out, the Headbangers from the Mattel Elite line. For retros, how about Chris Van Vliet from Rush Collectibles or Kurt Fuller from Hastel Toy Grapplers and Gimmicks? How about Operation Monster Force? Check out the Count Dracula unboxing, which was a lot of fun. Some big rubber guys like Dusty Rhodes, the Road Warriors, and the Powers of Pain. All of those available in the archives. And of course, The Simpsons, Krusty the Clown, Lisa Simpson, Furious Homer, Vampire Burns, all available in the archives, as well as some Transformers like Wolfang, Jazz, Night Prowler, and many more to come. So check those out as well. Check out the TB Toycast podcast every Thursday. Check it out with a different main event and all the toy news, everything toy related, all in one place. So check that out as well. And how about Tales of the Toy Box? Episode 1 is available, all about G.I. Joe Street Fighter, kind of a comprehensive look at that line and what it meant to me personally. And of course, we are on the road to 100 subscribers. Help me get there, and we will be doing a giveaway for when we hit that. So let's get to 100 subscribers and get some free stuff, right? That's what it's all about. But anyway, thank you guys for checking out the TB Toycast YouTube channel. That's Colossus. That's Juggernaut. And we will see you guys in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly so I can splash off the top. And I can shut down the shot.